back to another episode of the Miracle Marketing Podcast, where we bring you interviews from business owners, celebrity guests, and hot topics. I'm your host, Brandon Adams, along with my co-host, super producer, Big Perion. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you would like to be a guest on the show, send us an email at a Miracle Marketing Podcast. On today's show, we have a special guest, Miss Deandra Duggans from the world champion Las Vegas Aces. I'm sure a little plug to Noah Lyles, who don't like the word world champions. So how are you doing on the show today?
I am great. I'm great. I can't complain. How are you guys?
Great.
Good.
So what we're going to do, we're going to start off. I know my co-host, Big Perion, had a few questions for you, so I'm going to let him go first.
Okay, the first question is the brand marketing fairly the same with teams despite the sport and the gender in the sport?
I mean, I guess the way you go about brand marketing is pretty much the same. I came to the Aces from the NFL, so I was with the Baltimore Ravens, and a lot of people always ask me, like, what's the biggest difference? What's the biggest difference between the two? And really, it's all the same. I mean, we have the same challenges, the same goals from a marketing perspective. The only difference is most likely, or usually, kind of resources. And that's, depending on what what our strategic goals are and how we want to execute any of our brand marketing, that can be a hindrance, or it can be a plus.
Okay. And were you active in school? Is that what led to you working in the athletic department as far as marketing and branding?
Yeah, I mean, to give a short spiel, so when I started college, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I did 2 years in animal science and realized I didn't really want to do that. So I changed my major, and I think that's what college is naturally for, kind of to discover, what you want to do and who you are. So I took some classes in business marketing and sport management, and kind of fell in love with kind of that industry. Met a couple of people in the athletic department and did some internships, and then realized I really wanted to make a career out of it. So from there, I kind of, took a journey throughout my career over the past 15 plus years in marketing and sports media. So just kind of bridging the two worlds together. And it really is kind of brand marketing.
Okay. And when you were, I saw in your bio that you went to school here. I'm in Atlanta.
Okay.
At GSU.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing any work for any teams here in Atlanta?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, wherever opportunity is, to be honest. I think I did a lot of internships when I was in Atlanta in grad school. So I worked with the Hawks, I worked with the Falcons, the Georgia State Panthers, Georgia Tech, the Dream. So I got a lot of good experience, and I know that Atlanta is a really cool sports town, a lot of culture, a lot of history there. So, I mean, I'd be open to the possibility of, working with any Atlanta sports team. But right now, I am, rooted where I'm planted. I am good in Vegas. I'm having a good time working with these young ladies with the Aces, and kind of building this this team and this organization to be a strong competitor in the Las Vegas market.
That's great. And with the, I know the title defense, the series begins tonight.
It does.
The whole campaign, what goes into the marketing for a series? Is it different than anything during the regular season?
Yeah, because it moves a lot faster. Obviously,
Okay.
the stakes are much higher, which we named our playoff campaign as Raise the Stakes, because everything is different. Every record is the same. We're all starting at 0-0. What happened in the regular season doesn't matter, and it's really like you're upping your level of play, and it just means more. So last year we came up with Raise the Stakes as our playoff campaign, and it went really well. We really loved it. Our fans kind of really rallied around it, and we didn't see a need to change for this year. The only thing that we did change was kind of some tweaks to the look and feel, just how we kind of executed what Raise the Stakes meant. So we have some different looks as far as our creative, as it relates to like posters and merchandise, resale, stuff like that. But yeah, we were pretty in love with Raise the Stakes, and it just made sense just being in Vegas. Obviously, the connection to not connection to gambling, but the connection to what's the word, another word for it, for all intents and purposes, gambling, or the culture of the culture of gambling in entertainment in Las
Taking
Vegas.
chances, risks.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
Taking the chances, risks, going all in, all of those kind of usual terms that are used, in this space. We really wanted to take it and make it positive. Not that it's not that it's negative, but to make it relatable to what, how we wanted to use it in sports. So really happy with it.
That's dope. That's dope.
So I had a question for you. The Aces are coming off with the championship. You work with an NFL team that also have won a championship. So is marketing going into championship teams a lot different than teams that haven't won a championship? Do you find it being easier?
So I wasn't with the Ravens when they won the Super Bowl. They won in 2012. I came in 2016. So I missed kind of that point. But I was with the Ravens when we were, we got Lamar Jackson and we were kind of the hottest team in the league. And that it's kind of the same level of excitement, like when you're going to the playoffs, when you can ride a season and go 14-2 and, everything is, going your way. But you kind of approach we approach every season the same, like, obviously the goal on the court is always to win, but as a marketer, I have zero impact on whether, we win or lose, but I do have impact on whether we win off the court in terms of how we're presenting our brand, how we're communicating our brand, the atmosphere that we're creating in our arena for our fans and for our players to make it, one of the most competitive, intimidating, but fun arenas to go to. And those are the types of things that we count as wins on our side. So this year we led the league in attendance at games. We just had a record-breaking game playing at T-Mobile, sold that out with over 17,000 fans. So those are huge things for us, especially from a brand that got here in 2018 and they had 2,000 people in the stands. So the level of growth that we're seeing, the level of just care, just general fun and just excitement all around from fans and just people in the community is amazing. Like I went to dinner yesterday with my coworker. I had on Aces gear because that's all I wear because I'm a walking billboard. But someone came up to us and was just giving us a lot of props and just congratulating us on all the success and just sharing with us just how impactful we have been to the community. So those are wins in my book, and we approach every season the same way with those same goals.
So you talked a lot about internships. How important is internships for college graduates or anyone that's in school that's wanting to pursue a career in any field?
They are huge. I think one thing that internships definitely teach you is how to be a professional, how to show up to work, how to be organized, how to be responsible and accountable. Because, what most people that are entering internships are entering them young. It's their first kind of real world experience beyond any part-time jobs that they've had. But it just shows you how to work with a team more, how to use your brain a little differently. It's less about just doing a task and if this, then that type of situation, but more kind of thinking strategically and long term. So like marketing it has, some parts of tangible things and tasks that you have to do. But a large part of marketing is just really a lot of thinking. Like I spend a lot of time just thinking and then finding ways to think it all the way through. So like having a thought about how we start the season, like I have to think about how it impacts us in the middle of the season, going into All-Star break, in the postseason, like all of those things. So internships are incredibly important for that reason. Also for the purpose of just networking, building your network, building a group of sponsors who are willing to vouch for you. I don't feel like I've left the internship experience without having someone who I can call on 5 years later to say, hey, would you mind putting in a good word for me? And they, obviously I have to leave a lasting impact for them to be able to do that. So they're incredibly important. Work experience is always important. And it doesn't matter if you get that experience, I don't know, interning with an investment bank and you want to work in sports, it's still a great experience to get.
So, dope. Oh, go ahead, Perry.
Oh no, I was just commenting saying it's dope. You got it, bro.
Oh, I was gonna say, with the Aces being named a super team along with the New York Liberty, is that something that you handle as far as marketing, or do you not use that in any of your marketing strategies?
We don't use it. We never called ourselves a super team. We have the same starting five that we had last year. We made a few key moves, but we never labeled ourselves as a super team. We just feel like, we got better. Obviously, we've gone through the season. We've had an important injury, so we're down a member of the team, but yeah, we let the media kind of fluff that up. I think it's good. I think it's a really good narrative, and I think it's good for the W though. If you kind of create these storylines and you create the villain. Somebody has to be the villain. Somebody has to be the hero. But I think it has led to some really good moments this season. Like obviously, not just because people have labeled us a super team, but being the defending champions, everyone wants to beat us. And so everyone has had to step their level of play up, including us. And so I think that has truly led to an incredible season for the W, for us, for the Liberty, for all of these teams. I mean, it was incredibly competitive. So we don't use it ever. And our goal is to always, push all of our members of our team out there. So we don't really, obviously you have, your natural franchise players. You want to spotlight your starting five, but we also want to make sure we tell the stories of everyone on our team, from the person first out of the intro tunnel to the person that's last on the bench. Like they all matter, they all contribute. And so we try to do a good job of making sure that we highlight everybody.
Go ahead, Perry.
Outside of marketing, I know you said at the beginning that you wanted to be a veterinarian.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your that's still at the top of your list as a
No. So like I think it's I think you only know what you know. Like at 17, like I wasn't, you only know what you're also exposed to. And that's why representation matters so much. Like I grew up playing sports, so I grew up playing basketball. So I was aware of, the W. The W came in when I was a teenager. I was aware of the W, aware of, NFL, NBA, etc. But I didn't know that you could have careers in these sports. So I just didn't know. I knew doctor, lawyer, teacher, police officer, all those things. So, but I did know I wanted to go to college. And so I had to pick a major. And I was told, my guidance counselor told me, a lot of colleges will give scholarships for, underrepresented communities who want to major in the sciences and mathematics. So I was like, cool, I'll pick a science major, get some scholarship money, and I'll be on my way. And so that's what I did, and it got me to college, and I changed my mind, and all is well with the world. So not at the top of my list anymore, but like I always tell people, I think it's incredibly ridiculous to ask a 17-year-old what they want to do for the rest of their life when they have no idea what is even available to them. So
yeah. Okay. Your top 3 WNBA teams. I know the Aces are number 1. So who would be the other 2?
So number 1, Las Vegas Aces. Number 2, Las Vegas Aces. Number 3, Las Vegas Aces.
Great answer.
I'll say this though, because it might pop up. Somebody could pull it up, and that's totally fine. I'm from DC, so I grew up being a fan of all DC everything. I had season my dad bought season tickets to the Washington Mystics, so that's the team that I grew up loving. I think everybody grew up loving the Comets. They were the first 3 champions of the WNBA. I was a huge Cheryl Swoops fan, a huge Cynthia Cooper fan, Tina Thompson, all of them. So I'd say in history, we're gonna go Aces, Mystics, Comets.
Okay. Okay. But the first answer is the first answer was the perfect answer. Aces.
I just saw Steph Curry and his wife at the Aces game the other day, taking pictures with the team members. How big is it for NBA players? Because Paul George has been at the games, Donovan Mitchell, a lot of the NBA players especially seem to come to the Aces games. How huge is that to have the NBA players supporting the WNBA?
I think it's it's great. And one of our players, she's very adamant about using the word support versus watch, right? So like when they come out to the game, she doesn't want people to like refer to it as them coming to support the team. They're coming to watch basketball. And more than likely, and usually 100% of the time, they're coming because they're friends of these players and they know they can ball. So we get a lot of players, NBA players that come through. Obviously, Vegas is just a natural place for people to wind up. And so they reach out to us and ask for tickets. It's never us kind of reaching out and asking, hey, do you want to come to a game? And I think that speaks more volumes than anything, that people want to come to our games and, watch these ladies play.
That's great.
It's the ladies' time anyway in every market, every field right now. Women are winning right now, so that's huge. I predict that the Aces are going to take it all the way. So
I like your prediction. I'll
I'm
leave
rooting for them.
predictions up to y'all, but I appreciate you rooting for us.
I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
And I'll be watching, not supporting. I'll be watching.
Thank you. Because you don't support LeBron, you watch LeBron.
That's right.
I don't.
Whoever the person is, you don't say, "Oh, I'm going to go support X player." You say, "I'm going to the game," like, because you want to watch the game.
So I had when meeting you face to face, and one reason why I wanted to definitely have you on the show is because you're in marketing. I own a marketing company. I definitely watch and support the Aces. The Aces have been huge supporters of my children that have covered the Aces. And when talking to you, you said that the Aces have, some things that they do with the youth. I've seen Pepper covering the games on the sideline. Tell our viewers a little bit about how the Aces support people that are in the youth that are interested in being a sports analyst, or wanting to get into just being a part of sports, like you're in with the Aces and not actually a player, but you work in sports.
I mean, focusing on the youth or developing youth as far as being fans and even just developing their passions is super important for us. And usually we use the opportunity for Kids Day, which we have annually, one of our theme games, to really amplify that, because it's the best way to, get them experience and then showcase their talent. So this past season, or the season that we're in, we had a Kids Day where we utilized one school, because they have a program that is dedicated to teaching kids about production and newscasting and things like that. So we took a couple of visits to their school to check them out, see how they operate. And we were just kind of blown away with just the level of just professionalism and just, responsibility that they had. And so we thought of ways to incorporate them into our game. So we had a few of them come out, and they were our in-game hosts. They served as PA announcers. And there were a couple of other things that we really wanted to get them involved in, like be a part of the control room, because they do that at their school. But just giving them an opportunity to see how what they're learning in a classroom right now even applies to what they could be doing or how we operate our game. So that was super important. And that's something like having kind of a test of that this year will really allow us to really grow that moving forward. And I think the W does a really good job of really what's the word? Well, in the case of like Pepper, they identified her talent early on, and now they're able to give her opportunities. And now she's developed, relationships with players where they're comfortable with answering questions. And they also know that they're not treating her like a little kid. They're treating her as a real reporter in the press room, because that's what she is, and that's what she wants to be. So I think those are incredibly important. As much as we can get, or as many times as we can get our faces, in front of youth, I think that's important. That definitely grows our fan base. And it definitely, gives has an impact on them in the future, whether they grow up wanting to play basketball or even a sport at all. The fact that an Aces player took time out to come to their school to talk to them, to pour into them, that means a lot. Like, I remember when players came to my school and how that impacted me, and that still lives with me. So those things are important. They'll continue to be important, and we'll continue to try to improve how we do that in the future.
What can the fans expect to see from the Aces in the playoffs?
What can they expect to see from the Aces in the playoffs?
Whether they're coming to a game or watching it on TV.
Just, we're trying to raise the level of excitement. Like I said, I can only control everything around the game. I can only provide the environment, but we're trying to just increase everything we do. We played at T-Mobile on Sunday. We're playing our first playoff game at T-Mobile tonight. And so I think, we have a louder sound system, so that thing will probably be thumping. So we're gonna up the ante. We like to have a party at our games, and that's what it is.
So a party. Every time I'm there, it's always a party.
Yeah. So the level of intensity on the court will be what it is. We're making sure that we're transferring energy from the crowd to the players and back and forth. So that's what people can expect. So yeah, we just want to help, continue to see this thing grow as we continue to go through the rounds of the playoffs.
Will Candace be back?
I'm not allowed to give any reports on player availability. So you have to ask.
I had to stick that in there.
You're gonna have to ask our PR person. I have no idea. I told you my job is outside of the court.
I'll get with Jiggy and see.
In the future, do you plan on expanding brand marketing as far as like having like your own players like you would manage like Rock Nation?
I did think about that. Like that crossed my mind like early on in my career, but that is extremely tough. That's a tough job. I mean, and it's one of those jobs where you eat what you kill type thing, right? So like
Okay.
you're not out there hustling and getting these brand deals for your client, then you're not eating. But while it's tough, I think it is exciting, especially like now, in the women's space. I think obviously with NIL helping a lot, and that we hope that translates into the professional world for women's sports, specifically women's basketball. I think it's an exciting time. I think brands now are way more apt and open to aligning themselves with women's sports as they see the value beyond them just being basketball or athletes. So something that crossed my mind when I was young, not really thinking about it right now. I think it's exhausting.
Yes. Okay. I mean, you would have a team, but I can still understand.
I would say my aspiration is really to be a part of ownership of a team. It doesn't matter what sport. So I have this dream of just like I have a core group of women, Black women that I know that work in sports, super smart, super talented. And I think it would be amazing if we were like a collective for sports ownership. Like I think that would be dope. And I think we could really move the needle. So that's my way down the road goal.
Okay, bucket list.
Well, hey, you better get that equity in the Aces. The Aces has won the championship, and they there every year.
Hey, man, maybe I should have some one-on-one meetings with the people at the top about that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So tonight, got the playoffs. Aces are facing the Chicago Sky. Tell our fans what they can expect when they come out to T-Mobile Arena. How can they get tickets? All of that.
You can get tickets at LasVegasAces.com. Tickets are still available. Great seats still available. You can expect our team to be locked in. Our entire staff is locked in. I mean, we are like, it's go time. Obviously we feel like we have the weight of the world a little bit on our back with so many expectations, but we're just going out there to have fun and compete. So fans can expect a high level of basketball between both teams, a good game, and we hope to walk away as the victors.
They will.
And we need all of Vegas to be all in. So
all in. Perryon, you have any more questions?
I want to get on that in that sound system. I need a theme song for the Aces.
You got the GOAT producer right there and the marketing executive on the line. See if
okay,
I
would be working on something to submit.
It's Juvenile out here to a game. Shoot.
okay. I see what I could do.
We would love to have him perform. Not lying either.
Well, I need one of my clients to perform at the Aces game that is from Vegas. So hopefully we can get Mila Williams from 702 out at the game.
Oh, that's one of your clients?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
We love a little where my girl's at. I feel like it's appropriate.
I'll be putting in a word to you and see if we can get her to perform out there.
Yeah, shoot me a note. You have my info.
All right, we'll definitely do that. All right, anything you want to leave with anybody words for our guests?
No, I guess I'll just say thank you all for watching and tuning into the W. Continue to do so, interact and engage on social, spread the word about how great of a product it is. Come to a game and bring a friend. Guarantee you they will fall in love with it. So
where can the game be watched tonight?
Tonight's game is on ESPN.
Okay.
So no excuses. Everybody knows what channel ESPN is on your listings. 7 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again, taking time out of your busy day of, preparing. And we want to have you on the show, definitely to plug the Aces for being in the playoffs, and congratulations to the Aces. I want my girls to win. Let's go, Asia. Let's go, Kelsey, Chelsea, Jackie, J.O. We want them all. So thanks, Big Perion. Any words you got left for us?
Have a great game, a great series, and I look forward to seeing the Aces at the top celebrating.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to today's show. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Click the subscribe button on YouTube. And we want to thank again Ms. Deandra Duggans from the Las Vegas Aces for being on the show today. Thank you guys for tuning in.